Hi, this is my week 7 monologue, kind of where I'm at the moment, how far I've come in terms of manufacture, in terms of my thinking, in terms of where my head's at in relation to the project. So I'll run through it. So essentially, I have my material all processed. I've more or less the project nearly finished, but during the disassembly of my project, it's only this past week or so from talking to Richie that I realised that the amount of craft that went into this project. As you can see here, these are little dovetail sort of slots that held these uh, what would you call them, brackets. They're like they're all it's all handmade. They're handmade brackets. And as you can see, they're kept in with a stopped dovetail, so the pressure is coming down this way. Um, on top of them, they're little shelves all the way up, and it was just phenomenal when you pulled it apart. The craftsmanship that went into it. When my father bought it, he gave £900 for it, and your man had it, um, made it up in the room that it was put in. We had to disassemble it to take it away, and the detail was just phenomenal. This was another thing that Richie showed me. So there was screws holding it structurally in parts like this where it would have been weak. You can see the couple of cracks coming there, but the reason for the screws, I was wondering why the screws are so soft when I was trying to pull them out. So you can see the top was a little bit damaged in them, but they're brass so that uh, they don't stain the wood, so the tanning in the wood doesn't react with the metal. Um, they're a non-ferrous metal, and this means that you won't have these black stains and the rot in the timber. And it was cool to see it. I'd never seen brass screws before, and it was cool when I was wondering why they were so. I had to take them all out by hand. I was wondering when they were so soft, why the heads were kind of ringing on them a little bit. This then really summed it up. So on the little shelves that I was showing you there were these dowels sticking out, and I couldn't believe when I seen they're the shelves that I was on about. But these dowels were actually, there was a dovetail cut at the top of the dowel to fit into this little bracket, and the shelf sat down on top of that then, and they were cut first and then turned on a lathe individually. So uh, I couldn't get over it. I didn't even look, to be honest, until it was sort of pointed out to me, really. Um, but it just gave me an appreciation for the craftsmanship that went into it, and I take a lot more pride now in refurbishing this old dresser now that I know the craft that has gone into it beforehand. Um, so it's red American oak as well. One of the lads had white oak in the lab there yesterday, and when you compare them, it's so cool. Like the difference, it's so slight, but it's just they're two fabulous woods. Um, on the manufacturer side, then I had to make a former for the back part. I'm curving the back. That's part of the craft. I'm laminating this oak, these slabs, here. I'm slicing them up, slicing them that way, um, up along on the resaw down the end of the lab. I had them sliced, and fitted them into this former. So I used this press. There's 5 tons of pressure on that press. I couldn't get over it. It's great yoke. Glued my laminates, my MDF laminates together. Got the former, stuck it down, ran it through the saw, um, through the laminates into the steamer for an hour, dried them out, um, glued them up, banged them in the former, stuck clamps on them, and that was one of the issues that I had with this. There's a little gap in the laminates, where to put the clamps, how to tactically position the clamps, because as you see there, they don't fully go up on my piece, so I had to put clamps on the top and bottom, and then trying to clamp them from the side as well. It was difficult. Richie's very good at that. He was massive help. just kind of fidgeting around with it, trying to shimmy it over and back, trying to get the former perfectly fit in. So yeah, from a manufacturing point of view, I'm fairly well on. Obviously, going through this, when I'm thinking of how I'm manufacturing it, because I'm trying to make an orthopedic chair, it means that flimsiness has to go. I had to make 9, or I had to make that 20 mil instead of having it at the 12 mil that I was going to have it, because it just wouldn't have been strong enough for the pressure that's going to come on it. It needs to be durable and have that bit of structure to it, because I know from experience that elderly people, or people who are buying chairs that for people with a disability, won't buy it if it's not sturdy and not fit for purpose. So you just need that bit of robustness in a chair like that. You can't really be taking risks that it'll snap or anything. So that's why I went for such a thick form, and I think it worked. In terms of all the rest of the timber, I left it kind of, I don't have any pictures of it here. I left it sort of true to thickness, so I got it at around 24 mil thick, the red American oak, 24, 25, little bits of warps and bends in it, and I processed it down to 19.5 was the thickest I could keep it, and kept it there. So it's all 19.5, and 19.5 mil in red American oak is really durable, really strong, and there's no movement out of it at all. But because it fits perfectly with this backing on it, so this is the model on the right. So with this backing on it, it fits perfectly in a 450 by 450 box. Not even actually depth wise. I reined it in depth wise. It's exactly 450 wide, and it's only 350, 370 long, and it's fit to, it's the legs aren't on it yet, but they'll be the exact height for whatever average. I'm trying to work out the average at the moment, somewhere between 450, 600, 650, where a person is comfortable sitting down. So yeah, so this is kind of where I'm going from analyzing the aesthetics and the design that I want. This is kind of the idea without the look. The problem I have is, how can I get this to look a bit better, to be obviously sustainable. The amount of man-made material that goes into that's just a one-off, and has to be manufactured, single-use plastic, stuff like that. And now saying that, I'd say there's a majority of them are probably recyclable these days. We have one at home that the plastic says it's recyclable on it, but I'd question it. Anyways, so I can make mine out of reused materials. I can upcycle an old dresser, or not upcycle it, but revamp an old dresser, and bring it down and turn it into a functional, aesthetic chair. That's the idea. Very simple, and that's how far I've got with it. I've that box made out of oak, the box for the top, the actual seating device. I have the form made for the back here, and all I've left to do is put legs on it, manufacture legs. They're all processed, ready to go, just to stick them together, join them in, and stick them on. So that's me so far. Thank you.